strut my stuff and I'm so strung out. Well, I'm high as a kite, I just might stop to check you out. Let me go on, like I blister in the sun. Let me go on, big hands, I know you're the one. Body beats, I stain my sheets, I don't even know why. My girlfriend, she's at the end, she is starting to cry. Let me go on, like I blister in the sun. Let me go on, big hands, I know you're the one. Strut my stuff and I'm so strung out. I'm high as a kite, I just might stop to check you out. And when I'm walking, I strut my stuff and I'm so strung out. I'm high as a kite, I just might stop to check you out. My body beats, I stain sheets, I don't even know why. My girlfriend, she's at the end, she is starting to cry. Walking, I strut my stuff, and I'm so strung out. Well, I'm high as a kite, I just might stop to check you out. Let me go on, like I blister in the sun. Let me go on, big hands, I know you're the one.
Warning, this podcast features adult subject matter, adult language, and things not meant for children to hear. Viewer discretion is advised. You've been warned. Possibly, potentially, we could be, maybe, I think. Oh shit, it looks like we are live, ladies and gentlemen, back here on the I'm No Joe YouTube channel. Thank you very much for tuning in and sticking with us through our rough Season 3 kickoff. And before anyone asks, no, I am not cosplaying as Mike Perry at the Olive Garden. I've actually got an injury on my arm here that makes it very, very painful to wear a shirt, so I'm just going to rock the wife beater for this evening. I just wanted to get that out of the way because I know I'm going to get those questions later on. Yeah, well, whenever cracks your motor, you know. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to the I'm No Joe podcast, a show where every armchair quarterback can feel like an Eddie Bravo. And tonight, as like most nights, I have got a hell of a crew here to talk some shit with me this evening. First and foremost, the freshest guest a man could ask for, Mr. Fresh 03. How the fuck are you doing this evening, sir?
I am all mathed out.
I mean, math's a dangerous thing. It's addictive. Yep.
Remember, everybody, math kills.
That's right. Not even once.
Not even once.
Oh, and then, you know, once in a while, we manage to do it. I don't know how, but somehow we get the new kid to keep coming back. I don't know what the fuck we did, but he's here. RJ, how the hell you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. Doing good. I might not be here next week. I'm in the middle of moving, so a little
Fun
FYI.
Times.
Yeah.
Fun times. Well, we're glad we got you here this week at least.
Yep.
And then, as it were, more often than not, across the octagon from myself, my Wednesday night compatriot, my combat talking shit, homeboy, Golf T Vapes himself. How you doing, brother?
Fucking excellent. It is one more week of fights. Can't go wrong. I mean, for being kind of a weird placement of a card, it's fairly well stacked.
Right?
Albeit there are some fights on there I would rather not see because, well, we'll get into that later. But for the most part, though, it's a pretty stacked card for not being a pay-per-view. I'll give them that.
Absolutely. I'll absolutely agree with that. So, actually, give me just a moment. I apologize. My dog is freaking out already, and we just took him to the vet today. I'll be back in one moment.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah,
So
how about the fight getting canceled that nobody gives a shit about?
that made my fucking day. Like, way to remove a uh, shit main event and replace it with
Someone's got potential.
one that has potential. Yeah, I'll give it that. Uh, how about the fight announcement of Tyson and
Versus
Roy
Roy
Jones
Jones Jr.
gonna have a little exhibition. Although I did read the article for it today. Apparently, they both had to sign a thing with the California State Athletic Commission that said they were not going to try to put each other in the grave, aka knock each other out.
Uh,
I'm going, what do you mean they're not going to swing for the fences? They're both fucking former heavyweight champs. Let those bastards beat the brakes off each other. They're
oh,
both old and fucked up. It's going to be fun for everybody.
exactly. Well, I mean, I'm kind of excited about the Nate Robinson versus Jake Paul fight because I'd really love to see Nate. I'd really love to see Nate Robinson just beat the piss out of Jake Paul. But that's just me.
I think that goes for anybody versus Jake Paul. Just knock that motherfucker out. But yeah, that's my own thoughts on that. Oh, and there's apparently there hasn't been an announcement for it yet, but it looks like Cowboy Cerrone's got a little fight coming up because he did post something on his Instagram that says, "We'll see you soon." Hashtag UFC, but no fight announcement yet. So there's something in the pipeline for him.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that as well. It seems like he has definitely got something going. Anyhow, so
It's either that or maybe it's racing related.
that's what I was gonna say. Either that, or he's gonna announce that he's retiring from the UFC and he's officially gonna become a fucking dirt track racer. That BMF 50 kicking
UFC will
off.
be their sponsor.
Yeah, with the BMF 50 kicking off like a fucking charm, apparently. I mean, gotta look out. But because of all of the fucking weirdness of 2020, AT&T decided out of the blue last week that they were going to redo the network internet for my entire neighborhood, and I had no internet for most of last week. And then, as if that wasn't enough, as soon as we get the internet back, the main broadcast tower took a shit. So we are here on new computer, on new internet, so I apologize in advance for all the bumps. But in doing all the floundering that we happened the last week, trying to get everything back in order, we missed a What Did I Say show for all of the previous Abu Dhabi events. So we're going to wait until this coming weekend, and we're going to do one for the entire Fight Island chunk here. I've got all my notes from all the previous events. I'll put my notes from this weekend's events, and then this weekend we will do a full What Did I Say for all of Fight Island. We will give a one-over for all the Abu Dhabi fights. The downside, though, to AT&T giving the old corporate Rooney last week is that we did not get to do our Joe Liminaries. Between that and the live show that we, Combat Compatriot, commented through the fights for the previous Wednesday, we owe you guys a little bit of news. And I know that with Season 3, it was a big deal about how the news is getting its own show, and that's what Joe Liminaries are for, but it's 2020. Nothing's going as planned quite yet. So, I got some fight announcements here that we are going to go over real quick before we jump into the actual reason for the season, as it were, this weekend's final UFC fight night from Abu Dhabi, Till versus Whitaker, which unto itself is a whole fucking craziness as it is. But before we get there, there have been a plethora of fight announcements that I want to run down for you guys, because a couple of those that have just come out actually impact this weekend's card. So the first big piece of news that I have not gotten to share with you guys since it broke is that been a long time coming. Reebok is dead, folks. The Reebok deal is fucking done. It is over with as of the latest possibility being April 2021. Reebok is officially out of nowhere stepped up to completely remake the fight kits for the UFC fighters from scratch, from the ground up. And Dana actually gave a little bit of insight into that, in that he said he was very happy with the Reebok deal, and the Reebok contract gave them, you know, great outfits and great fight kits and sponsorship money to help the athletes, but it felt like to him that Reebok had kind of taken what was already available for boxers and kind of just rebranded it for the UFC fighters. And he said at this point in the game, he wanted something that just wasn't a rebranded fitting. It was something that was completely for them. And Venom literally from the ground up completely redid fight kits. So not only are they getting new, supposedly better looking fight kits, the Venom deal actually as well increases the fighter payout on every tier, as well as restructuring the pay tier that the sponsors will be paying out to the fighters as well. So not only is there more money coming to the fighters, there's more opportunities for the fighters to get money with Venom, and they're not going to look like they're walking out of a fucking Planet Fitness from now on. Hopefully. So, we're starting out with semi-good news here. Venom looks to be what Reebok wanted to be, but wasn't quite able to get to. So, fingers crossed, we'll see how that plays out.
Venom's got some pretty gear too. I was looking at some of the designs they were throwing out for the fighters.
Pretty nice looking, yeah.
Pretty sick looking gear.
I mean, like, I fucking use their trunks.
There you go.
Shit, they make good quality stuff. That's fucking good shit for a big company like that to get a big name deal like this.
Fuck
fucking
yeah.
right on you.
Yeah, everybody
right on
wins.
you.
Everybody wins in this one, it seems. And I think the only question I still have looming as to how this unfolds: do we see Stitch come back?
Ooh.
Ooh, because Stitch does work for Venom now.
Well, not only does Stitch work for Venom, Stitch got released from the UFC when he publicly criticized the Reebok deal. We've got an interesting little fucking hornet's nest in this particular situation.
They let a lot of people go because of it, because of the Reebok deal.
Yeah, but a lot of people ain't Stitch, though.
Yeah.
The one question I have on all of this is, I think it's going to be better for the fighters, but is it going to be to the level of better that it should be?
Right. And I was thinking about that as well, especially when Dana came out right away and said that all the fighters all the way across the board are getting more money, and they're restructuring the tiers so it's easier for fighters to make more money through it. It sounds like they're going to give them a little more, but we're still not back to that point where they were making their own money through fucking sponsorships. So we're still kind of fucking yoking them back a little bit for the sake of the corporation.
Yeah, and I think that still gives fighters a good reason to say, you know what, fuck it, I'll go fight in Bellator.
I agree.
Because Bellator is a close second right now. And a very close second at that, in my own opinion. But those fighters are making a fuck ton more over there because they can get their own sponsors. They can throw their own banner. They can have them all plastered all over their shorts. So, we'll see what it brings and how fighters complain about it once it starts happening.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Once it actually starts getting enacted, I think we'll get a better idea, but it's potentially a really, really good deal. At least on face value from what we're getting information-wise now, it looks to be a good new deal for everybody.
But anything's got to be better than Reebok at this point.
I completely agree. Because, you know, I tell you what, for as big of a company as Reebok is, they screwed the pooch on this fucking UFC deal. They really did. As much as they might have thought they were coming out great, their fucking brand has legitimately been tarnished by millions of UFC fans who saw how this whole situation unfolded. And even if it's just a small percentage, that's an impact on your fucking company. But, moving on from fight kit information to actual fight information. Not only is the UFC at it and still kicking ass and taking names and putting shows on, but the other guys are finally starting to follow suit. It seems like just about everybody either has announced or has a tentative announcement as to when they are coming back. LFA actually announced they were coming back and then had to cancel the show because half the people that they were going to have on the show came up positive for Backstreet Boys. So they're trying, they're just not there yet. There are a couple other smaller organizations, TFA and then I believe Titan Fights are both also tentatively about to announce their next up-and-coming setup following UFC guidelines. We also did get the announcement that as of July 31st, ONE FC will officially be back in action, kicking Asia's ass with martial arts from one side of the globe to the other. The one thing I will say about this July 31st card is that this is not for your average casual. This is not going to be a card where you see names that you recognize in every fight. This is one of those cards where if you want to appreciate some martial arts, this is what you watch, because this ONE FC card has Thai boxing, it has Muay Thai, it has kickboxing, and it has MMA all on the same card. So they're going to be legitimately showcasing multiple different outlets of various martial arts and then true MMA fights as well. The other one that we did get announced was tomorrow night, coming back just before the Saturday's UFC card. Bellator is officially back in action, headlining their premier debut card since the Backstreet Boys took effect will be one Sergio Pettis stepping in against Ricky Bandejas, which is going to be, in my opinion, one of the best fights that Bellator may have put on in 2020 so far. That's got "oh shit" written all over it. You're not going to want to miss tomorrow night's Bellator card. That's for damn sure.
No. Speaking of tomorrow night, don't forget we have BKFC tomorrow night.
This is correct. That's actually the next one I was getting to here. The thing about Bellator is that the entire event, prelim and main card, 7 fights. 3 prelims, 4 main card fights. Quick and easy. It's going to be real similar to a lot of the other events that are starting to go. The Submission Undergrounds, where they get their events wrapped up within an hour and a half, 2 hours, instead of the 7-hour procession that a UFC event is. And then as well tomorrow night, we have got the return of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, our beloved BKFC, where Lord Artem and Jason Knight have been slugging fucking skin and splattering blood across ringed, what is it? Ringed octagons or circled octagons, however the fuck they call their setup, because it's not quite a boxing ring, but it's not quite an actual MMA cage either. It's a weird thing, but it's awesome. And BKFC is back, so as of this weekend, we will have had almost every branch of Punchy Kicky that we follow back in action in some way or sort. So, that brings us to the slew, and I mean fucking slew, of fight announcements that we have got to go over here. So I've got these broken down to try and make them as quickly digestible as possible here. The first one, we have 2 from Bellator. The first one that we've got is coming up on August 7th, in just a couple of weeks here. Their card will be headlined by the rematch of Michael Chandler versus Benson Henderson. They are going back to Mohegan Sun again, and they are going to let Chandler and Hendo run that shit back, and I think that is going to be interesting as hell to see how that shakes out, because both of those guys have said they realize that they don't have a lot of fights left, but the ones that they do, they're on that kind of Anderson Silva kick. They know they don't have a lot left, but the ones they have left, they want to be fucking crazy for everybody's sake. So that run back will be fun, I believe.
Old Hendo still knocking people's blocks off.
Fuck yeah, still at it, man. And then that Bellator had announced their schedule this far out, but apparently Bellator is going to do a show on September 11th. The UFC has an event going on September 12th and September 5th, but I don't know. That's a weird one. That just, the way 2020 is going, that just seems like a ballsy move.
That's a ballsy move all around. And period.
right? Like,
It doesn't even have to be 2020. All foobar.
yeah, it's an interesting situation, but we'll see how it plays out. But they announced that the September 11th card is going to be headlined by another very anticipated Bellator rematch. Phil Mr. Wonderful Davis running it back against Lyoto Machida. The Dragon and Mr. Wonderful are doing it again. Bellator's got some good matches coming up here, folks. I'm telling you right now, they're not fucking around.
Theoretically, could be fun.
That's got oh snap written all over it as well. So, like I said, I just had the pair from Bellator here, so we're going to get into some UFC announcements. The first one, like I said, actually ties right into this weekend. We have a short notice turnaround fight change coming up this weekend. One Tanner Bozer, coming off of his fucking spectacular win previously, has gotten the hat nod again and is getting back the fuck in there, stepping in on short notice to take in Rafael Pessoa. That's going to be interesting because the matchup between those two is good to begin with, but now short notice turnaround Tanner Bozer. This could be a really fun fucking fight, folks. The other very interesting one that was just announced yesterday, after the potential postponement and then eventual cancellation of their matchup, Joanne Calderwood, JoJo as they call her, no longer facing Valentina due to her injury, but not sitting on the sidelines. She announced that she is picking up a short notice fight as well. She is stepping in for Ariane Viviani, who actually came up with Backstreet Boys just this weekend and loses her spot to JoJo, stepping in to face Jennifer Maya next weekend on the August 1st card.
Okay.
That's another one of those that, although not the original match, still very, very potentially interesting to play out, I think.
My hat's off to JoJo for that, because you know what? You knew you were next to mine, and
yeah, still willing to take it
and go fight again.
Yeah, I like it.
Like to fight. Good
That's
on
how
you.
that's how you get in Dana's back pocket.
Exactly.
Just take those fights.
Get out there and take it. Yep.
I don't care. I know you're short. I'll take the fight.
That, and it's gonna be that's a good matchup. Like, realistically,
Yeah.
that's a pretty good fucking matchup. I'm happy with
It is.
that. Okay, so from here I've got them broken down because they actually announced a bunch of them for specific cards that are upcoming. So I got them broken down per card to try and help knock these out a little quicker here. The first one they let a couple of announced for was the August 8th card coming up in just a couple of weeks. The first one that I think is interesting, that's, again, getting to be one of those, like, are we looking at another Tony Khabib? Because this is the fourth time this one's been rebooked now. Ketlin Vieira versus Yana Kunitskaya, the Foxy Russian, has officially been rebooked for the fourth time coming up on the August 8th card. So hopefully nothing stops this one. It looks to be at the Apex, and that is a good place for that fight, I think.
Yeah.
Those ladies don't need a 30-footer. They can handle that business in a 25-foot cage, I think.
Mm-hmm. A little more exciting.
Yeah. And then the other one that I think is also going to be very exciting because it's in that 25-foot cage on August 8th. Laureano Staropoli, who we have seen a couple times come out and look very good as a young prospect, getting his chance to make a name for himself against Tim the Dirty Bird Means. That has got some potential bloodshed coming from that one as well. But the big one that they announced for that one, they're looking right now tentatively, depending on a few other fights on that card that may or may not actually come to fruition. This is looking potentially to be the co-main event, main if everything else falls through. I wouldn't mind it either way. Giga Chikadze, one of our favorite named new fighters, stepping in against Bruce Leroy Alex Caceres, coming off of a very interesting victory himself recently.
Bruce Leroy looked about as good as he's looked ever. So.
Absolutely. And
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
with Giga making his way up the ranks, that could be a very interesting crossing of paths.
It could. Bruce Leroy said, "I ain't no gatekeeper."
Yeah. And Giga said, I don't care. I'm going up the ladder either way, so.
I'm going to
Oh, I
punch,
think
punch my
he's
way
good.
through you, whether you're the gate or not.
Mm-hmm.
He's still a gatekeeper. He was fighting a guy with no hands in his last fight.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot.
Sure he was.
Yeah. But
I
still,
mean, do we penalize Bruce Leroy for fighting an 8-year-old?
I don't. I actually give him some credit because even though he didn't look the greatest, for as little expectation that I had for him, he actually made his way through to definitively win that fight. Like, there was no questions on whether he won or not. He won that fight. It wasn't spectacular. It wasn't glorious, but there was no question at the end of the night whether he won or not.
Yeah, he held off all those takedowns.
Absolutely. And that's not easy to do. That takes a lot of fucking gas tank, man, and it takes a lot of fuking strength. Especially when you get hit hard.
Maybe I'm still thinking of the hype train that he was at one point.
Yeah.
And trying to compare it to that, and he has not been that in many years.
I absolutely agree, because when he first rolled in, that whole fucking Bruce Leroy thing, that was hotter than fucking bacon grease straight off the fucking pan. That man's hype train was inflamed, and then we watched it just kind of fizzle, man. So, but like I said, no matter what I think about somebody, I try to give credit where credit is due, and I will definitely give my fucking hat tip to Bruce Leroy for that last match. He definitely fucking won that shit. So, that will bring us on to UFC 252, which will be the August 15th card coming up next month. The first thing that I want to give you is the announcement that officially it is not scrapped. It just got moved, and they have written it down. The paperwork has been signed. It's official. Pedro Munoz versus Frankie Edgar at 135 is happening at 252, boys and girls. We're still going to see a bantamweight Frankie, and that is, with what we saw from Aldo, I think Frankie could make himself look real good in this fight against Pedro if he's doing his fucking homework.
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa. If Pedro just lays Frankie out, it's going to be real hard to keep him out of that fucking title conversation for much longer. I'm glad they're running it back. I'm glad they're rebooking it, should we say, instead of just letting that one fall to the wayside.
It deserves to be on a main card too.
I agree. And throwing it on a pay-per-view so we can get the eyes that a fight like that deserves.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it. The one that I am a little disappointed in is that they have taken the opportunity of 252 when we had all these fight nights in Abu Dhabi and all the other fight nights between now and then, and they're going to put the Magomed Ankalaev versus Ian Kuntalaba rematch on that card. I definitely agree that Ian deserves the rematch. He was stupid as fuck to do the okey doke bullshit the way that he did and got called for it. I don't know that fight belongs on 252.
I mean, there's a lot of publicity around it, so I get it.
Yeah.
Kane'll do anything to get a little extra money.
Yeah, with no butts in the seats. I kind of get it. Like trying to keep a little bit of controversy in the card. The other very interesting one, as far as littler guys go here, John Dodson is officially taking on Merab Dvalishvili, the gentleman from Matt Serra Ray Longo's camp that you always hear.
Okay.
Come on, Merab! From that little fucking bald head. You will hear Matt Serra scream that so fucking loud so many times during that night, I have no doubt. But that's going to be a real good match because the last time we saw Merab out, he set a record for 14 fucking takedowns in a 3-round fight. That man's a little tank, and he's got a fucking gas tank to go with it, so it could be real interesting when you start throwing up against the higher-ranked guys like Dodson and see what he can do with some numbers. The other little guy match that's going to be interesting on that card that they just confirmed here, to Smokey 6ix9ine himself, Sugar Sean O'Malley is stepping up big time in fucking caliber against opponents, taking on one Marlon Chito Vera. Now,
Ooh.
I will say this. Much as I hate that stupid looking motherfucker, he has a decent track record against some of our Hispanic badasses. I thought Quinones was going to mop the fucking floor with him, and he walked right through him, to his credit. I don't think that's how this one's going to go, though, because I think the kickboxing of Cheeto is just going to fucking work real bad for Sugar Sean this time.
You know, the thing about Sugar Sean is, like, as much as I dislike him as a person, like, the dude just keeps walking through people.
That's what I'm saying.
Until someone teaches him that he can't. Like, there's a lot of confidence in that kid.
Yes, there is.
There's a lot of fucking confidence. It's
Yes.
hard to say something bad until he stops walking through people.
Right. And
So-
that's one reason I think the UFC was like, okay, dude, we got you. Let's see how you handle someone who can literally kick your head off your fucking shoulders.
Yeah.
And we'll give you Cheeto, and we'll see how you handle that. So,
Yeah, Cheeto will stand a decent chance, but I mean, there's off chance Sugar Sean walked through him too.
that's what I'm saying. There's precedent been
More
set
than
here,
more than an
so
off chance.
there's a precedent. Yeah.
Well, I think this is going to tell us what kind of fighter Sugar Sean really is outside of the hype train. Because if he walks through another one that people are thinking he shouldn't, maybe he's on a different level.
Yeah.
We'll find out one way or another. Cheeto ain't gonna give him no fucking easy fight.
And the dude keeps proving me fucking wrong.
That's what I'm saying. And Cheeto's not gonna give him an easy fucking fight. Cheeto's gonna make him earn everything. So the other one for 252 that they have announced, they are not sure as of right now if it is going to co or main event, but it will be either the co or the main event. Will be JDS versus Jairzinho Rosenstrike.
Ooh.
That I think is going to be very interesting to see how JDS can handle Rosenstrike versus how the other giant in that division, Francis, handled Rosenstrike and JDS both. It would be interesting to give our MMA math, if you will, a full equation to work with once we get the results from this particular matchup. And to be fair, both of those guys at any point in time during that match could put the other to sleep very fucking easily, but they also both have a very full tool set as opposed to some of the straight punching that we saw when Francis went against both of them. So it could be a little more interesting than just a 30-second knockout with those boys.
Yeah, Rosenstrike's he's gonna be looking to come back hard.
Yeah.
So,
Well, so is JDS. They both got fucking leveled by Francis. Be interesting to see which one of them wants it enough to actually take this fucking matchup. So, the next one I've got here for you, August 29th UFC event. They gave us a pair of announcements here. The first one is a rebooking that we were actually kind of excited about when they first told us about it. Polyana Viana versus Emily Whitmire. That is going to be a very exciting... Witt's coming back against Polyana.
Nice.
They finally rebooked it. When they lost it originally due to the Backstreet Boys, that was another one that they thought was just going to get scrapped, and then both of them were going to take separate fights when everything came back.
Yeah.
And no, they actually put this one together. Both ladies are very excited to come back at it, and I think this is another
Excellent.
great matchup on the ladies' side.
Yeah. Go Witt.
The other one that they
Am I
announced here,
biased? I guess I'm biased.
I mean, it's understandable. So the other one that they gave us for the 29th is actually another ladies' fight as well. Another one of our crowd favorites here. Hannah Cyphers is stepping back in to welcome a newcomer, Mallory Martin, coming in off the Contender Series on an 0-1 record right now. Made her debut, got her ass kicked. So they're giving her a second go around, and she's getting Hannah fucking Cyphers. They're not doing
Cyphers-
these ladies any favor coming off the Contender Series doing that shit.
Cyphers looked damn fine on that last. She lost her last one. She still looked pretty good.
She lost it to Angie Hill on a controversial judge's decision.
Yeah.
I was screaming
But I
the
mean,
whole fucking time she
Angela
had
Hill,
it.
Angela Hill deserved that. She deserved that win.
Angie Hill's been working her ass off, so
Yeah.
I get
Yeah,
it.
She deserved that win against Cyphers. But I mean, Cyphers is going to be looking to tear someone up.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
not a good match.
And Hannah got them hands. When
Yeah,
she
she
lets them go. Fuck. So, Mallory, good luck. I'm very interested to see how that match shakes out as well. Next one, we've got a couple for here. Let's see. Four of them for this one, I guess. I didn't even realize there was that many for this one. The September 5th card for the UFC. The first one, another run back. They have announced Nico Montano versus Julia Avila is actually getting redone. That's another one that got scrapped when the Backstreet Boys came around and they kind of just assumed everybody was going their separate ways. But no, Panda's getting back in there and she is going after Nico's fucking head, and I am very curious to see how she plans to take it home, because I think she can. Another interesting ladies fight that they are adding to that card, going to be a stacked ladies evening that round. Macy Chazon getting back in there. Have not seen her in a minute. Taking on Sajira Eubanks, who they are also trying to get out of the UFC if her latest couple matches have been any indication.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, Sierra Eubanks is right toast after this one.
Yeah, I think if Macy looks against Sajira the way that she has in the past, and Sajira looks as fucking lackluster as she had lately, this is the sending off party for Eubanks. The other ladies fight that they announced that I am very excited to see, Montana De La Rosa, our favorite half of the BJJ couple in the UFC, getting back in there to step in against Mira Miraz, coming in with a 2-0 record and a pretty decent hype train behind her as well. Welcoming a newcomer. Montana's 4-1 right now, so this is essentially, I think, her last like lower tier match, so long as she looks the way she has. I think this is going to be the last time we see Montana coming in that still relative newcomer range. I think if she does this one the way that she has her last few, this is going to put her up into that starting to look at the top 15, looking at ranked opponents situation.
I'm trying to remember who Mira Miraz is. I know it's familiar to me.
She's another Contender Series lady. I cannot remember. She had a great last outing, and I can't remember for the life of me right now who the fuck it was against. She's another interesting young prospect on the ladies' side of things. Going to be fun to watch that fucking matchup come through as well.
Okay. Is she another one of those little Tasmanian devil ones?
I think she might have been one of the little crazy ones.
Got heavier fucking hands.
And then swings real bad leather. Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it is who I'm thinking. If it's who I'm thinking it is, that's gonna be a really fun match.
Yeah. Especially considering we know, unlike her husband, Montana does have hands and jujitsu.
Yeah.
So that'll be real fun. But the pair of gentlemen's fights for that card that they have announced are also very interesting as well. The first one, Augusto Sakai, coming off of a very, very exciting win recently, stepping in for the call-out that he asked for. They're giving it to him. He's getting Alistair Overeem. I think that is a fucking potential great matchup. Both big dudes, both well-rounded, both had a couple of fucking bell ringers in their past, but doing pretty good right now.
It's good. Yeah, that was a good. I remember thinking that was a good call out.
Yeah,
I think we all thought it was.
We all thought in the moment that was a real smart call out, and the UFC apparently agreed and jumped right in to make it for him. That I think will be a great fucking match. The other one that they have announced for that card that I also think is going to be a great match, but maybe not as even. Glover Teixeira stepping back in. Welcoming back from the injured reserve list, one Marieta Thiago Santos is getting back in, boys and girls, and they're giving him Glover. If his knee's back to 100%, I think that could be a real bad night for Glover, man. And I like Glover, but fucking Thiago is a firecracker, man. After what we saw him do with Jones on one leg.
Yeah. Glover's been crafty, old man, in it.
That's what I'm saying. Glover better eat his fucking Wheaties, man. And I like Glover, but
he's just taking people out. So.
Yeah.
Granted, we just said that about Glover recently, and he proved us wrong too, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you were the one that pointed it out to all of us.
It's gonna be one.
That this crafty old bastard is still in there, just collecting body
cracking
parts and knocking
skulls.
people the fuck out.
Yeah.
He
So-
still fucking got it.
And they're bringing Tiago back and throwing him right in there with Glover. So that's going to be a match that's going to be exciting as shit. If Tiago is fully healed, that dude's about to start leapfrogging back at John Jones.
You at John Jones? Don't duck me.
Yeah, no shit. We did also get 2 announcements, and so far this is literally all they have announced for it, and actually half of it got announced and denied and then confirmed later on. The first one that they have announced for 253, which will be going on September 19th. See how they did that? 19th. Mackenzie Dern stepping in against our favorite Canadian Randa Marcos, the redheaded rock star. That fight, I think, is going to be really interesting to see where both of those ladies are. They originally asked about, Dana said was not a thing, and then dipshit McGee leaked and said that it was a thing, so it started a whole fucking rumor mill situation. Confirmed as of yesterday, Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa will headline UFC. We have to get it out of the way. For the division's sake, we have to get that fight out of the fucking way.
Fair enough.
He's been screaming from the sidelines and hiring fake doctors to try and get him fucking cleared for long enough. Just fucking okay, go.
I think
Always a puncher's chance.
Yeah.
the best part about that is that it leaked, and Dana White's pissed about it.
Yes, he's furious because there was only like 7 people, I guess, who actually knew that those contracts had been sent out. So they
Still
know,
fun.
yeah, they know one of who could have done it. But yeah, to see him get so butthurt about it has been kind of poetic.
Well,
I mean,
they
once
already
it- once
signed
it
it.
not-
Once it's signed, there's no gag orders at that point. It's fucking signed.
I mean, once the contracts are out, it's in the hands of all of the people
Right. Well,
that
that and
are involved.
you're
So,
getting free publicity 3 months out.
yeah.
How is that bad? You're getting free publicity 3 months from the event's announced date.
Do something smart with that. Be like, oh,
Capitalize,
he
yeah.
finally let his fake doctor send us a note.
Exactly. Capitalize on that shit. Talk about how this referee smelled like booze and cigarettes or something. Dom.
Yeah. Fuck. Pay Cardi belt.
Right? Ugh, I tells you. But the last fight announcement that I have got here, one of the most interesting that I found going over my notes yesterday, September 26th card's co-main event has been confirmed. China's Yan Xiaonan will be taking on one Claudia Gadelha. That's going to
Okay.
be a fun fucking fight.
Yeah.
Claudia,
Yeah, I mean, last time we saw Gadelha, I mean, she gave Nunez as much as anybody has. So, yeah, that's potentially a fun fight.
it's going to be real interesting to see how that one shakes out, I think. I'm on board. I want to watch it.
Yeah.
Now, Yan Xiaonan is essentially the backup quarterback to Weili Zhang coming out of China. She is their plan B, and she's no fucking joke either. So,
And Wiley's she's got a fight looming in the future.
yeah, she's got her hands full coming one way or another. Whether they give her that fucking rematch or whether they let Rose come get her fucking belt back. Either way, she's got an interesting fight on her hands coming up. So now, with that being said, that will bring us into the quote-unquote normal portion of the I'm No Joe podcast, where we actually get into some meat and potatoes for you here. And the reason for the season for this coming up weekend's UFC Fight Night Abu Dhabi 3 / I think it's ESPN 15 or 14, one of the two. It's another one of those like 7 names, 19 syllables, too fucking much to talk about. It's Fight Night Abu Dhabi 3. Till versus Whitaker. This card, for being the final Abu Dhabi card, they apparently are taking advantage of every last minute. Abu Dhabi is going to allow them to milk every penny from the Fight Island experience here. This card, I believe, is 16 fights or 15 fights.
or 16.
It's fucking huge. There's like 9 fights on the fucking prelims. Obviously, we're not going to go over and break down all of those, but there are a couple here that I do want to give quick little shout outs to mention. The first one, Nathaniel Wood, is one of the quick rising stars in the bantamweight division. He is one of the most exciting little guys we have seen come up in a hot minute, and he is opening the fucking card this weekend. So if you're looking to see shit get crazy right out the gate, they're not playing. They're not fucking around. Yeah. They're not setting you snoozers. They're getting the little guys out to fucking rock it right away. Another interesting one, just a few back from that. I think this is kind of another one of those where they're basic. Panny hasn't really done much worth note since The Ultimate Fighter. She's another one of those that came into The Ultimate Fighter with a lot of hype and never really produced a whole lot, but still got a full UFC contract after the series ran its course, and then just really hasn't done a lot with the opportunity since then either. But Betch Kohea has basically just been the laughing stock of the ladies' side of the MMA house ever since Ronda Rousey made her baby elephant on the Straight Outta Compton fucking ad on the ring there. She really hasn't done anything to kind of bring her name or reputation back out of the fucking dumpster since that happened. So, like I said, I think this is kind of one of those shit or get off the pot, sweetheart. Either fucking do something or it's time to go fight for Bellator, because the UFC don't have no more fucking room for soup cans. Yeah, I'm not gonna cry over the spilled milk on that one either, and I don't think many others will. But that brings us to.
She can occasionally be tricky, but
yeah, not.
I don't.
Not really threateningly so, though.
No.
Not enough that you really gotta worry.
You're tricky against Sierra Eubanks.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like mediocre level, but yeah, I think we're okay with her getting walking papers, as they say.
I mean, regardless on that fight, it pretty much it's walking papers for both of them. Regardless.
Yeah, really, because Panny hasn't really.
If Panny wins a fight, oh, congratulations. Here's a W. Here's your walking papers.
Right, yeah, you're going out on a win.
Yeah, and then if Beth loses, that's gonna be like, hey, we should really start like thinking about doing something with her. You know, she hasn't been performing very well in quite a few years. Here's your walking papers. Regardless, it's a fucking lose-lose.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, honestly, the ladies' side of the house wouldn't be worse off if they did just cut them both after this fucking fight. Be like, congratulations to the winner. We're sorry to the loser, but you're both now free agents.
Yeah.
Go help Paige Van Zandt start a ladies' union over for Bellator. But that will bring us directly into the one that we opened our little news piece about here. Tanner Boser stepping in on short fucking notice against Rafael Pessoa, which, to be fair, would be a great fucking fight if they both had full camps and knew they were training for each other. But the fact that Tanner Boser is such a fucking badass that he's going to turn around and take this shit on short notice and just stay in Abu Dhabi and fucking rock the house. He looked fucking great the last time we saw him out. I think he stands a real good chance here, but again, against a guy like Pessoa, it's not going to be a walk in the park. Like, you're going to earn your fucking W, but you better eat your fucking Wheaties or you ain't going home with anything but a concussion.
Pessoa's he's such a counter fighter.
Right?
Like, it's going to be... I'm just picturing like these 30 minutes, these 30-second spurts throughout the rounds.
Yeah.
Where it's just fucking gorgeous, and then the rest of the time they're just kind of. So it's got the potential to be pretty darn exciting, though.
Yeah, there's some fun looming in there. I think there's some fun potential in the background of that fight.
Yeah, and with it being a quick turnaround, like neither of them are really ready for each other. Like this could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think so.
Shows the real like the real skill and the ability to the ability to break somebody down, how they move and what they do, like every step of the way
Mhm.
shows your real potential as a fighter.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm taking Boza. Put me down.
Likewise, I think Bozer's got it, and like I said, I don't think Pessoa's going to give him a fucking easy walk, but man, I think Tanner Bozer's...
this one I think it could be this could be dark horse fight of the night, and it could be. I'm guessing if it does anything, it's going to a decision.
I agree. I think it's really getting underhyped, and the fact that he's getting, the short notice. I think that's all the publicity you need for it, man. Like, these short notice fights have been turning out pretty fucking good lately, and Tanner's got a fucking head of steam going.
Plus side, Tanner's a fucking heavyweight, so he hasn't been off from a fight that long that he's gonna have a fuck ton of weight to cut.
Exactly,
so
it's not
I
gonna
don't
be
think
hard.
that's gonna affect him in the least. So I think we're gonna see a 100% well prepared fucking. I was just here a minute ago. Let me go finish this job too and get a double payday.
Yes, sir.
And then what'll probably happen? I think he's gonna walk through him in the first or second round.
Oh really?
Oh yeah. Why the fuck would I want to do fucking another 15-minute job if I don't have to?
Right.
Get paid twice, walk through him. I'm gonna go take 3-4 months off, take another fight before the end of the year.
Yeah, and then end the year a stud. End the year a fucking company stud. I agree. I think it's a great fucking plan, and if he can do it this weekend, it's definitely on his way there.
Yeah, I think his advantage is he loves to sit there and wait for that counter. He loves waiting for that perfect punch.
Yeah, he wants it to come to him so he can matrix you.
Bozer's not a dude who's going to offer it to him too often. So.
Well, that and Bozer's another one of those big guys that we've seen that likes the charge. He doesn't just start throwing at you. He's running by the time the first punch is already in motion. He's got 3 steps in. Like, he's Fred Flintstoning at you with the punches. Like, you better fucking be ready, dude. Like, he's not going to stand and box you from a distance. He's coming.
Yeah, and counter punchers. If you get somebody that's running in on you with putting a lot of pressure, and there's so much shit going on. Sometimes you get
to get your plan in motion.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, get overwhelmed.
So, the other interesting one I want to talk about here before we get to the premiere, Nicholas Dalby versus Jesse Ronson. That fight has got so much fucking crazy potential. This is one of those that neither one of these guys really look like welterweights. Both of these guys walk around, I believe, at or just north of 200 and are cutting down to 170, which is fucking crazy that we've got so many guys in the UFC that are doing that right now. Darren Till and Robert Whittaker, the fucking main event for the evening, being a prime fucking example. Both of them fought for a good portion of their career at welterweight. Both are now at middleweight, but both walk around at light heavyweight. So this is another one of those matches that I think could be dark horse of the night, not getting a lot of attention, but has potential to be fucking spectacular. Dalby is tricky as shit, but he likes his double jabs real fucking strong, but Ronson has got such a smooth fucking takedown game to him against guys that like to hang that fucking jab out. I think it could get real fucking interesting about the middle of the second round when they both start to get a little comfortable. I think we could see a real fun fucking match. I think Dalby's got good hands, but I think Ronson's got what it takes to fucking put him on his ass.
I think Ronson probably does too. Dalby's, like you said, he's a tricky dude. I'm leaning towards Dalby. a little bit on this fight. So I think he'll be a little fresher and a little bit. I don't know. My brain's trying to talk me out of saying Dalby.
This is another one of those.
I'm going with my heart. I'm going with Dalby. I think Dalby's got enough tricks, and I think his takedown defense is good enough to withstand at least a couple of them.
No, this is another one of those kind of fights.
On the ground at some point, but
yeah, no, this is one of those fights that the longer you look at it, the more that you examine both sides, the more it's easy to talk yourself out of a decision and just jump back and forth and be confused as shit.
I guess the only thing I say And this is not one of the fights that really excited me all this much. It's decent, but the one thing that kept popping into my mind when I looked at this one is the body snatcher. For some odd reason, the picture that they have of him on the UFC's website
I know, he
makes
looks
him look
so
like
tiny.
he looks like makes him look itty bitty tiny head, and he literally looks like Jesse from fucking Breaking Bad, only a bad Canadian version.
Yep. Well, and to be fair, I think to the UFC's credit, I think at least a good portion of the reason that I'm so excited about this fight, aside from wanting to see if Dalby can really fucking live up to the shit he's been talking, and it's been a lot, is the fact that the UFC released for this last Fight Night Abu Dhabi. Since it's a fight night, they don't do embedded vlogs for the fight nights, but they did release a 25-minute behind the scenes Abu Dhabi fight night video, and the first 10 minutes of it are literally following Jesse Ronson from the time he gets into his hotel room to him going through his 48-hour quarantine, to him, going and getting his first look at their training rooms and how they've got everything set up, getting to go to the Fight Island cage on the beach, which is a fucking disappointment and tease, you fucking bastards. But he's the one they open that video up with, and you get a real good look of how he has kind of had to adapt in the moment. He looks pretty fucking...
Oh god, internet.
Uh-oh.
Am I good?
Yeah,
good.
you're good.
Okay, my whole fucking computer just froze for a second. My internet crashed.
Oh, shit.
For the whole Dalby Ronson fight, Dalby all day. Ronson is he's got a lot of potential in the UFC for what he's done so far. Like the last his debut fights, he looked extremely talented. He's got a lot of experience under his belt, but he just hasn't been able to put anybody away. And if he can come out and do some work against Dalby, that'll be pretty fucking good for his career.
Right.
But with everything that we have on both of them, I have to say Dalby.
Interesting. I will say this. Part of my rooting for Ronson in this one here is something that we don't see a lot of, that we got, again, thanks to that behind-the-scenes UFC embedded style video for this. Dalby, Ronson, rather, Jesse Ronson, I'm not sure if this is his normal way or if he's just doing it for this particular fight. Either way, I think this is fucking brilliant. He's not using the sauna to steam weight cut. He came in 8 pounds over and water loaded and cut it in a fucking bathtub with no fucking steam and was walking around comfortable, looks normal, did not zap himself in the fucking desert. I'm saying, and there's a lot of dudes who are using those saunas to fucking rip that water out of themselves in Abu Dhabi, for fuck's sake.
God, I hate fucking doing saunas. They're so fucking bad for you.
That's what I'm saying. And
you feel like dead.
Yeah, and they showed Ronson. They asked him when they let him out of quarantine, and they tell him about his training room. They're like, you got Abu Dhabi 8 pounds off and just regular water loaded it out normally. I think that's a brilliant fucking move, fighting in the desert.
That's a brilliant move, period.
Right, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure if that's his every fight motive or if that's particularly just for here, but I think that's a great fucking way to go. At least just for here, but overall, absolutely a better way to go. Now, with that being said, that brings us to the, air quote, premier prelim fight for the evening. One Francisco Trinaldo welcoming Hi Herbert, the fighter not yet quite unlocked on the UFC's website. to be fair, Jai Herbert is a fucking very, very technical and established, newer to the UFC kind of fighter. Still has, I believe I want to say he's got 35 pro fights on his belt. But again, when you get to the UFC, and sometimes this happens to bigger name guys like poor Jai here, he's still got that grayed out figure on the UFC website. Asked, when it comes to what have you done for me lately, Francisco Trinaldo just hasn't really been terribly exciting or terribly active. The dude, we've seen him just flatline motherfuckers. He's got the potential, but when you're not active and don't really look that great when you are active, it doesn't always bode well for you. And when you do that continuously over the years for UFC, there's only so long they're going to keep you on the roster. I think the latest update, there's 650 people on the UFC's roster on the men's side of the house right now, and that's not counting who they're about to release after this next batch of washouts come through, and then they start up the Contender Series again later on in the summer. There's not a whole lot of room for complacent dudes who are meh. I like Trinaldo, but he's a complacent dude who's pretty fucking meh right now, and Jai wants that fucking contract. He wants to make a name for himself. Premier prelim fight, taking out a dude like Trinaldo, I think it'd be a good fucking way to do it, and I think he might be able to. Fucking Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, this is, in my opinion, this is Trinaldo's fight to lose, to be quite honest. We've seen what he can do in the past, but look, he had a really shitty run there for a while. He won the last two, but they were against relative soup cans.
Yeah.
And I'm using that term loosely because, well, you guys made it to the top, but you're still a relative soup can for the guys that he has beat. And he wasn't putting them away like he used to. They were decisions.
Exactly. And that's a big difference because we saw him put motherfuckers away.
I think we're just past that for his prime now, as well past him. But he needs to do something quite impressive in order to get another run at anything. Otherwise, he's just going to be sitting here as the gatekeeper for the guys who want a contract.
Agreed.
I was muted. So say Trinaldo's what, 41, 42,
42,
something like that.
Yeah, 42.
Yeah, he's
To be fair, he's yoked as fuck for a 42-year-old.
He
I
is.
hope I look that good when I'm 42, which ain't long from now, so I don't have a lot of hope, but
I'm trying.
right.
But yeah, he's a boring fighter, but he's effective.
Yeah.
He gets his claws on that young dude. He could boring his ass way to another win. So, I mean, he's another crafty old bastard. He might just pull it off. Because we've been seeing a lot of these young dudes getting their shot at someone with some experience, and the dude with the experience proceeds to take him to school.
Yeah, it hasn't always worked out the way these young guys think. Yeah, absolutely.
We've been seeing a lot lately. Like, there's a lot of hot prospects coming in, and then a lot of us are sitting here like, yeah, dude, he's been looking good on these last couple fights. He's been taking, and then he runs into some 40-year-old dude who puts him down on the mat, and just holds him there for the entire time, or runs him against the fence the whole time.
Right.
So, it's probably Trinaldo's fight to lose at this point. But who knows? I mean, the young buck might just might figure his range out, pick him apart for a bit, and then lay him out. Off chance.
Yeah.
Off chance, but I think it's probably Trinaldo's fight to lose at this point.
I tend to agree.
I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think he's getting washed out. I mean, Dana barely has to pay him. So.
That's true. That's true. He is, I guess, what they would call that job security.
Yeah.
He's not really threatening to the rankings, and he doesn't want to fight all that often. So, yeah, I agree. It's kind of a low-budget investment for Dana.
You call him, he'll show up. So.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. I don't know. We'll definitely have to see. The other interesting thing about that fight is that it brings us to the opening of the main card with another gentleman here to be a badass again and make a fucking short notice turnaround. The man who a lot of folks, including myself and the commentators, did not even really know the first time we saw him until he stamped his name effectively on that fucking W column and then literally went to the hotel trying to stalk Dana and Mick Maynard because he wanted another fight. He didn't want to leave Fight Island without another fight. As we've seen time and time again, if you perform and you perform well and you tell them you want to get back in there, sometimes they give you a shot. And this seems to be that card because Tanner came out and Tanner looked fucking spectacular. And he said he wanted to get back in there, and lo and fucking behold, Tanner Bozer is on this card again. He stayed in Abu Dhabi and he got another fucking match. Well, Khamzat Chimaev came out and looked fucking spectacular when we saw him the first time, said that he was not leaving Abu Dhabi without another fight, and god damn it, Dana and Mick fucking agreed. They found him another match. So he is stepping in to open the main card against Reese McKee, another newer prospect in the UFC. I'm real excited to see what this fucking kid can do. I'm real fucking excited. I like that he was so fucking eager that he told Dana that I don't have to cut weight. I'm on weight. I'm just going to stay here and not eat until I fight again. The dude wants to fight. He's literally hungry for a match. It's what he's going to have for dinner. Feed the fucking kid. He looked fucking spectacular. I'm very, very curious to see how he's going to do. And if he looks that great again this time, dude, that's going to shoot your fucking name up the rankings real
This is
real
a
quick.
record turnaround.
Yeah.
Like, record turnaround for a fight. Like, dude, like, it's fucking ridiculous that the dude took this fight. But, I mean, he looked so fucking good. Chimaev did.
Yeah.
He looked so fucking good that, yeah, I have a hard time thinking that he's not gonna proceed to roll his way through
Do
this
it
one
again,
too.
yeah. Agreed.
Chimaev looked fucking amazing. So, yeah, I mean, McKee's looking like, I mean, he's a nice looking prospect.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The kid's got a future for sure. Whether
Yeah.
that future starts with a W this weekend or not, M's
Yeah,
tough
I don't
odds.
know. I mean, with a turnaround that quick, like,
Also, you got to think, though, his fight was 49 seconds.
yeah,
Like, less
One
than a
long.
minute. Yeah, he was in and out. Relatively no damage. I think he took one, maybe two shots that weren't really that significant. So he's still essentially fresh out of camp.
and then
Yeah.
he had time to put like 10 pounds on, workout, and then
Yeah.
turn around and take it
Chop
off
him
again.
back. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All he has to do is go step outside and sit outside for half the day. That'll
Exactly.
melt
Right.
that shit right off out there.
Go hang out by the pool for a minute
Right.
under an umbrella.
Yeah, I was going to say, not direct sunlight.
Still is the way.
Yeah, I have this strange feeling we're seeing a good rising star right now. 'Cause after that first fucking showing, depending on what happens here, I think he could be one of those new welterweights that you got to watch out for in the division. Because with putting on just a ruthless show like that your first time in the UFC, fuck, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, between him and Lazez, the fucking new guy stole the show that fucking night.
Yeah. Yep. That's an
Yeah,
easy pick for me. That's Jermaine. Easy.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. That kid. That dude. Jesus fuck. Like, he'd be. If he continues like this with just explosive shit and just being dominant like this, he could be like the next big name. He could be the next Connor. He could be
Fuck
the
yeah.
next Khabib or Habib, whatever the fuck you want to call him.
Sugar Chimaev.
Yeah. He could be
Get a
the
little-
fucking next.
Get a little star tattooed over here, dye his hair a couple of colors, and then shave it back down again.
Yeah, because that was beautiful and impressive as fuck. Watching him last week, that was fucking amazing.
Yeah, that was what, last Wednesday?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck, man.
That's what I'm saying. He had
Dude
fucking
didn't
right
dude didn't
around.
like they're trying to hand him the plane ticket. And he's throwing in someone in an armbar like, look, Dana, look what I can still do.
Yep, I'm good. I'm good. I can do this again. Can we do it? Can we do
And
it
that-
again? We are.
And that sort of fucking hunger, man. You gotta give a fuckload of credit and respect to that. That sort of hunger, just to like, dude, like let me fight one more time.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
then
And we
just
got
be
him.
here.
You
On
gotta
the
give
back
credit
burner.
to McKeeve for you've
Taking
seen
it.
what this dude can do and
Yeah.
taking this quick turnaround fight. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty fucking interesting. It's gonna be nice to see how that one shakes out. If Chimaev does what he did last time, that kid's got a bright fucking future, and he's off to it.
Mm-hmm.
So with that one down, that brings us to the next, running fucking theme here. Again, we've got another crafty old bastard versus another relative fucking new guy. Alex, the Brazilian cowboy Oliveira, versus, what the fuck is his name? Peter Sabata. To be fair, Sabata's 17-5, man. He's been around a little bit, but if you've ever seen the Brazilian cowboy get in that cage, that motherfucker's crazy. He's crazy, and he's crazy from everywhere. Aside from the fact that the dude got fucking blown up with a grenade and didn't fucking slow him down. Literally, look it up. Got blown up by a fucking grenade at a gas station in Brazil. Didn't slow him down. Aside from that, this motherfucker is crafty as they get. Crafty as they fucking get. And he's crafty from everywhere. He's a black belt. He's got great striking. He's got good wrestling. And he's got a gas tank that'll last 5 if he needs to, even though this is only 3. That's a hard fucking matchup for a guy who doesn't quite understand that caliber. Props to Sabata. Like I said, he's not a new guy, but he's new to the UFC. And Oliveira is not. He has seen the who's who of the fucking UFC. So I got a real hard time rooting against the cowboy in this one, man.
Yeah, this is one of those ones. I think it's if it's early rounds, like I think Oliveira's got it. Like if it stretches out, I think it's looking for Sabata. Because I in my mind, I don't think Oliveira's showing up to get paid by the hour. Or by the round. I think Oliveira's looking to take him out in 1 or 2.
Yeah, show up,
And
get work,
if
go
it,
home.
If it stretches out past the middle of the second round, I think I think it's a then I think things start working in favor for Sabata. They've both been looking real good. Oliveira lost his last one, right? I want to say.
I believe, yes.
Let me look. I feel like he lost his last one, but he looked pretty darn good doing it. Who did he lose to? Yeah, he beat Max Griffin last time.
That's
Yeah,
right.
he lost to Dolby
He
prior
lost
to
to
that.
Dolby.
I was
before
gonna
that,
say he lost to Dolby
Perry.
and then he beat Max because we thought Max was gonna beat his ass, and he actually fucking beat the shit out of Max. I remember that now.
Well, he is a crafty old veteran.
Yes, sir.
He is. Yeah, I think I'm sticking with what I'm saying. I'm saying if it's in the first 2 rounds, it's Oliveira. After that, I think it's Sabata wearing him out.
Well, I mean, I guess Sabata did beat Ben Saunders, but that's not saying a lot of a guy who was in the last leg of his fucking career.
Very true. And I love Ben, but Ben really hasn't been a lot of a threat for a hot minute.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I have to give it to the crafty old veteran. I think the crafty old veteran gets it done. I think Oliveira wins it.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm going with Oliveira mostly because you're an MMA fighter. You've been fighting for the UFC. You started out in 2009, 2010. Did he get released from his contract and get re-signed in 2014? Because it seems like he's been in the UFC 3 different fucking times. Sabata. If your record is looking like this with fucking gaps in between, I'm questioning your ability as a fighter. Because he's got 2010 to 14 15, 16, 17, 18, and then no fights on 19. So what the fuck is going on with him? Why is he fighting somebody like Oliveira if he's looking like this?
I agree. I definitely think it's a step up for Sabata, for damn sure.
Most
but
definitely.
I don't know, man. I think the crafty old bastard's going to hand him his ass this time.
Definitely.
But that being said, that'll bring us into the next match, which is equally as interesting. The Bear Jew getting back in there. Paul Craig stepping up again. I'm going to try this. If you've seen it, you'll understand why I'm waiting. I'm going to try this. Gadzimiriad Antigulov, I think. And I'm not even trying it again. That's what I'm going with. I'm not trying that again. That gentleman has a fucking name, and I got a name so I can recognize him. That's a fucking name, sir. Hats off to you.
Is it Gadsmaran?
I have no idea.
I think it's like Gadsmaran.
It's a hell of a name. I'm a little torn on this one here. I love me some fucking Bear Jew, but he has looked pretty fucking mediocre the last couple times we have seen him out there, realistically. We have seen Paul Craig come out and just manhandle motherfuckers, looking effortless in it. And then we've seen Paul Craig come out and look like he didn't even really want to be in there his last couple times. It doesn't really look like the Paul Craig we've seen. I'm hoping something was going on and maybe he snapped the fuck out of it, got his shit back on track, because the Paul Craig that we saw initially was a bad motherfucker and has a very, very bright future. The Paul Craig that we've seen the last couple times out is headed for Bellator before the end of 2021. I don't like rooting against the Bear Jew, but I don't have a lot of fucking faith in him at this point. I think the man with the funny name is going to take the W.
If he doesn't want to be here, this is the wrong dude to not want to be there with. Because this dude, Antigulov, either kills you immediately, or then you've got a chance in the fight. But there's a pretty good chance that he's going to kill Paul Craig in the first round, because that's what he does. He's a first round fighter. So if Paul Craig doesn't want to be here, like he'll gladly show him the door. So I'm going to Antigulov, first round submission.
Right?
You know, both of those boys, they're submission specialists. Neither one of them are really
could be a lot of fun.
Knockouts, which generally, when you got two guys that are fucking really good at grappling, we're getting a punching fest.
Yep.
Not a good one.
Yeah,
I don't see this finishing in the first round because they're both good grapplers. So
yeah.
I have a feeling we're going to see a kickboxing match of, well, mediocre proportions. Which is strange to say about a fucking light heavyweight match, but
right.
Anybody who's watched Bear Jew, he fucking mauls people not with punches.
No, he
but he's
ragdolls
fucking
you.
grappling.
Yeah, he throws you
I
around.
mean,
Anagulov's the same way. Like he just murders people.
But I mean, that comes down to like that wrestler versus wrestler type thing we're always talking about. When two people are strong in the same aspect, they tend to go to their weakest link and fight there. Don't fucking know why they do it, but fuck, here we are. So I think this one goes the distance. I'm not sure who's gonna win because neither one of their fucking striking is the best. But it's gonna be fun to watch.
I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, I hope every time I look at his name, I think about fucking Warzone. Fucking anti-gulag. Damn. Anti-Gulov. I hope he comes away from getting knocked out in fucking seconds off of his last fight, and I hope he can do some good dominant shit in the UFC because watching him, watching his videos over at M1 and everything that he did in Russia, he looks fucking terrifying. And Paul Craig, he's becoming like more or less what a lot of people are nowadays. They either they show up or they fucking don't. And you're a top level athlete making fucking ridiculous amount of money to get punched in the face. You gotta fucking step up with your A game every time. Stop being a pussy. I'd like to see the new guy come in and make a statement for himself, make a name.
Interesting. It's definitely a possibility here. We're definitely going to have to keep an eye on this match because it's either going to be really fun or really fucking boring. I'm hoping it's the first. That being said, that will bring us to kind of that same fucking vibe here that we keep seeing. We got a young gal who's on her way up, and then we got an old hat in the division in Carla Esparza taking on Marina Rodriguez. It's really hard for me to really say nice things about Carla Esparza, and it's not that I don't like her. She just really hasn't done a lot of great work. I mean, from the very beginning of the division, she's been mediocre pretty much. She's never really been that dominant. She's not that great of a striker. She's not that great of a wrestler. Her submissions are few and far between. It's really hard to get excited about a Carla Esparza fight unless you got an interesting name on the other side that could make it a little more fun. Marina Rodriguez being one of those ladies who's trying to tear her way up towards the top of the division, and she's another one that we've seen her look really good, but this is a step up in competition. Small as it may be, this is a step up in competition. She's not really fought anybody with the experience level of a Carla Esparza yet. Can she pull it off? I think she can. I really do. I think she's young enough. I think she's hungry enough. I think she's tricky enough. I think Carla is just at that point. She's putting on 18, looking at the fucking clubhouse, and I don't understand how she's still here. But she's still here. How long? Remains to be seen, but I think the young girl comes in and hands her ass this weekend.
Yeah, I supposedly the everything coming out of the campus, Carla Esparza's been working on her boxing, supposedly. Whether she has or not, I think that the young girl I think that Rodriguez has I think she's in a lot more trouble than I think you're giving Esparza credit for. Because Esparza can wrestle fuck the hell out of somebody. And if it comes down to it, she will grind the fucking match. And that's incredibly effective against youngsters. Incredibly effective if they've never been in there with someone that's got all that experience and can chain takedown attempts and put them against the fence and lean on them, get them wore out a little bit, stomp some toes. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a pretty good shot that Esparza grinds this one out, just because I think that she's the more experienced fighter, and I think that I don't know that Rodriguez has seen anybody that's going to make all the attempts that I think Esparza is probably going to make on her. I think they'll probably duke it out for the first round. We'll see how that new boxing's going for Esparza. But then I think the coach is going to tell her going into the second, just start trying to take her down, push her against the fence, grind her out. And I think it's going to wind up being an incredibly boring fight.
There's definitely a possibility for that.
I'm inclined to agree with you. If you go back on Carla Esparza's record, that's what got her to be the inaugural strawweight champ.
Yep.
That's when all else fails. Fucking grind, wrestle fuck.
Yeah.
Look, I get it.
Good at it.
It's an effective method. It does what it's supposed to. It doesn't make for anything interesting. One thing with Carla Esparza, her game has not elevated since she was on the Ultimate Fighter and then won the inaugural strawweight title.
Exactly.
Um, at that point, there's a reason why she's maybe a top 10 fighter at best right now. I would say top 15 fighter. However, I'm not the one who makes the rankings for this shit.
Like,
So, I mean, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt because, to be honest, I don't think Rodriguez is that big of a threat to Esparza. I don't think her toolbox is quite as well rounded as Esparza's is. That sounds really weird saying that.
right.
Is a really well-rounded toolbox, but
Right.
in comparison to the two,
Yeah. No, I agree. I get what you're saying though.
I think Rodriguez comes up just a tad short here. Not by much, but just a tad. Like, don't get me wrong, she is part of that new breed of fighters where they're training everything, but I just don't think she's quite there yet. I say like another 2 fights, she'll be past Carla Esparza's level.
Interesting.
This is one of those fights that I really don't care about. Like, Carla Esparza, she's extremely lackluster. Like, never does anything super fucking fancy or fucking, like, really does a good performance. She's a fucking decision winner 9 times out of 10. I fucking hate people that are just decision winners. Unless you are going out there and you are battling to the death and you just can't put your opponent down. Your opponent can't put you down. If you're like that, hats off to you. Carla Esparza, get the fuck out of here. Looking on paper with Rodriguez, I like what she's got going on with her performance on the Contender Series and her videos down in Brazil that she has. She looks fucking good. She has a, like, what is she? She's a Muay Thai and BJJ fighter.
Yep, both.
Like, man, she looks like a good fucking fighter. I would not mind seeing her just go in there, be dominant, be hungry, but be smart and take a W. I don't want to watch another WrestleFest. Carlos Esparza is just boring as fuck to me.
I agree. We will definitely have to keep an eye out, see how that one rolls through. That, though, excuse me, will bring us to the next fight on the card. Honestly, this fight probably could have been the main event for the evening. This and the main event, in my opinion, are interchangeable here. Ironically, though, I do agree 100% with the co-main being the co-main. This one and the main, I believe, are interchangeable, though. This fight being Fabricio Verdum welcoming out of semi-retirement and to a new division, Alex the Mauler Gustafsson making his heavyweight debut. Not only did he decide that he wasn't going to retire after all, but he's going to give something a shot here because he's always been a larger light heavyweight, much like a lot of the guys that fight at 205. Weight cutting is still a factor, even at the top end of the scale. There's a lot of guys who could easily just not cut weight and fight as heavyweights and still cut that chunk off and fight at 205. Alex is one of those dudes and decided that, you know what, I like a fucking hamburger now and then. Pizza is fucking delicious. Let's fight at heavyweight. Well, much like the UFC is inclined to do, they're not going to give you a fucking easy matchup, especially when you change divisions. This is no exception to that. We may not have seen Fabricio in a while because of the weird circumstance that he's been dealing with, but take nothing for granted. Fabricio Verdum is never an easy fight. That man is a great striker. That man is a great Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner. And that man is a great wrestler. And he has the gas tank to go a full 5. He's not going to give Alex an easy entrance into the heavyweight division. The thing that I think is going to play the biggest factor, because Alex comes in with great striking, with off the charts great wrestling, with decent submissions of his own. Will his boxing get a power boost when he moves up to heavyweight, like certain other dad bods that we've seen decide to just give in to the Popeyes? It's a possibility, and I think if it gets to the point where Fabricio starts to get rocked and he can't get his game plan working, traditionally speaking, he leans on his takedowns and tries to get that BJJ into play. You ain't gonna fucking do that to the Mauler. They don't call him the Mauler because he's not good at fucking wrestling and because he has no fucking defense. You're not just gonna throw him down and give him a fucking submission that he's not gonna be able to defend against. This is going to be, I think, one of those where both of these guys have good grappling and both of these guys have good submissions, so we may end up seeing it turn into a striking battle, especially considering that Fabricio's going to have in his mind, this is Alex's first time at this weight, so he is naturally in his mid, like we've seen other fighters going up to heavyweight have done. Alex is going to have some seriously fucking strong hands that Fabricio's going to have to watch out for, because as great as Fabricio is, he's also got a bit of a weak chin, and we've seen it tested several times, specifically going backwards. Alex likes to chase you a little bit. Fabricio likes to be chased because, with the exception of the last real big time that fucking didn't work out for him, it's traditional Mauler run here at heavyweight.
Fucking muted. Go figure.
Yeah.
You know, there's something interesting about this fight that nobody is talking about that I did read this week. There's actually a little heat between these two coming into this fight.
Yes. Yes, there is.
Because these two formerly training partners. Apparently, Alexander the Mauler here has been talking a little trash, saying, yeah, I beat him up in training. This is going to be a fairly easy fight. I know what to look for, that type of thing. Fabricio's not too happy about that. So I think we see this turn into a boxing match, because I think Fabricio's going to want to do as Alexander said he did to him. Bloody his nose and all of that. Put him down on the mat.
Yep.
So I have a feeling we're going to see this be more of a striking battle versus anything going to the ground, because Fabricio's got a point to prove, because Alexander was running his mouth. But you know what? This is the fight game. If it hurt your feelings or it actually happened and that's why you're mad, fucking go in there and try to knock his block off. Good fucking luck. I mean, Alexander's no fucking slouch. Don't get me wrong. He's been this close to the top of the fucking mountain. So we all know he's very capable. And now coming up where he's not cutting weight, he can just kind of do his own thing. I think that makes for a really dangerous Mauler. However, Fabricio's no fucking slouch here. People gotta remember, this crafty motherfucker, he's been around for a long time. A lot longer than Gustafsson.
Yeah.
Gustafsson's been around for a while as well. But I think we're going to see a stand-up bang-out war. I think, for my money, I think Gustafsson takes it coming up to heavyweight here, because that no-weight cut, I just get to walk in and have a little fun. I have this feeling that's going to be... I think we might see a turning point in Gustafsson's career right now, where a couple of years ago, he was talking about laying it up and just calling it a day. I think this might be that real turning point where, you know what? I have another chance at a run at a title here. So, and don't get me wrong, you're in a division full of fucking killers now. But
Right.
I mean,
Still.
somebody who could put up a good stink with them, I think it would be Gustafsson.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, even moving up to heavyweight, he's gonna I'd imagine that that athleticism that he's shown is still gonna be there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, Verdum hasn't looked fantastic in the last bit, so I mean, I'm giving it to the dude who's definitely going to be fresher. I think he's going to be having a lot more fun. I think I'm giving it to Gustafsson. I think it'll be a little bit sloppier of a fight than I think anybody's giving it credit for. But
Yeah,
I think
I agree.
this could go. I could see a stoppage in the second or the third. I think would probably be a reasonable expectation for what Gustafsson will get up to. I mean, Werdum's got that one punch knockout power, but they know each other. You know, I think he'll know the warning signs for one of those shots is coming. So, yeah, I think Gustafsson can just kind of outpace him a little bit, get him a little bit tired, and then land a couple good shots, take him down till the ref stops him in the second or the third. I think that's a reasonable expectation for what this fight will be.
This was an extremely tough one to like look at and think about, because Fabricio Verdum he's been fighting for fucking years now. He's a crafty vet, but Gustafsson, like he's one of those people that everybody knows his name now. He's been in the UFC for a good bit of time. I really would like to see Gustafsson honestly win this, because I think him thinking about retirement and then deciding against it and choosing to go up to be a heavyweight fighter, I honestly think that he's been doing a lot of deep dark searching and like just in his soul, and I think he'd be fucking far better being a heavyweight than being a light heavy. I'd really just like to see Alexander Gustafsson take this, regardless of like all the shit talk that's been going on. I don't care about that. I'd really like to see Gustafsson win this because he's a great fighter. So is Fabricio, but I'd like to see Gustafsson take it.
Yeah,
I really would.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then one of the other things that I think as well, if you look at Alexander's career overall, if you remove John Jones from 205, his career is completely different than what it is right now.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because without John Jones, that fight with Smith would have been very different to begin with, and there would not have been that retirement conversation or thought altogether. So I think the fact that he took that, internalized it, and decided, no, I'm not going out like that. I'm coming back, and I'm going to move up to where I don't have to struggle with my body anymore. I can just relax and do what I normally do. I think the combination of those two is going to be real good for Gus. And I agree 100% with TJ. There's no fucking easy path through the heavyweight division. I don't care who the fuck you are. I don't care where you are in that division right now. There's no easy path for anyone in heavyweight to get to that belt right now. And that includes Francis, who is sitting at the top, arguably the next guy to get the shot. I don't think either way that fight ends, either him versus Stipe 2 or him versus whoever, I don't think it's easy to get to the fucking belt at heavyweight. But I think Gus, of anybody, has some of the best fucking odds to do it. I think this might be realistically where Gus should have been all along. As good as he looked at 205, and again, as much as I hate to fucking give him props, DC is the perfect example of this. As good as DC looked in his prime at 205, he's looked that much better at heavyweight. His power transferred. His gas tank wasn't an issue. If you take those same style of improvements, that same degree of improvement, even if it's not to the same exact potential, just the improvements that you've seen in DC moving up as an example, if Gus gets that same style or about the same amount of improvement, I think he's about to be a real big fucking problem for everybody at fucking heavyweight. And I, for one, am fucking stoked to see how it plays out.
It's going to be, that whole fucking heavyweight division, in my opinion, is probably the most dangerous division there is out there right now. Because the top is literally shark-infested water.
I wouldn't say it's the most dangerous division out there, What I will say is that it's the most dangerous the heavyweight division has ever been. Because I still think right now, 155 and 170 both are fucking killers rows all the way down below 15. The whole listing in both divisions, I think top 20 in both, are fucking murderers. Heavyweight, I agree, are all fucking murderers. Maybe not quite to the same degree as the other two, but I think this is the most dangerous the heavyweight division has ever fucking been, for sure. That being said, that will bring us into another pair of gentlemen who probably should have fought most of their career at heavyweight, but have been light heavyweights the whole time. This is the one that I was talking about, folks, where I agree 100% this fight belongs as the co-main event fight. We're talking about Mauricio Shogun Hua versus Antonio Rogerio Nogueira, Lil Nog. This is confirmed Lil Nog's last fight. He is officially done after this match. Win, lose, or draw, he doesn't care, and hats the fuck off to him. The Nogueira brothers are living legends in the sport of MMA. They have earned their place in the Hall of Fame at this point, and I'm glad to see that he is not going to try and stretch that career out for another couple years. He recognizes there comes a time to hang him up, whether you're winning or losing, and he has acknowledged that no matter the outcome of Saturday night, he's done. Props, tip of the hat to you for that, sir. That being said, we are still talking about a fight between Lil Nog and Shogun. These are still, even at this point in both of their careers, very, very dangerous men in the UFC. While they might not be top 5 guys anymore, that does not in any sense of the word mean that they are not dangerous. Both of these gentlemen can and will put you to fucking bed anywhere in that fight with one touch, if it's a very meticulous and technical fight that goes to the judges, or it's going to be a sloppy shit show and it ends in the second. Which one of those two? I'm honestly not 100% sure it's going to be. But either way, I'm in for it.
Yeah. I think I think pretty much everything at this point favors Shogun.
Shogun, yeah. For the most part, yeah.
I mean, the only dude who's really ever been able to expose him was Anthony Smith. At least recently. I mean, he hasn't looked like the same. He hasn't looked like Shogun of old, but
no. But yeah, I agree.
Recently, the only dude who's really exposed him was fucking Anthony Smith. No one else has really been able to really say, hey, look, this is his weakness. And the dude can take a ton of punishment still.
Fuck yes.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how much punishment the dudes will still take. And at this point, I think, Lil Nog can still throw fists, but obviously he's not coming with the power that he used to. And I mean, if Shogun wins, I mean, there's conversation for him moving up rankings and being a problem for a couple people.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. There's still some real fun fights for him at light heavyweight. There's still a couple of real good matchups for him at light heavyweight.
So I think everything's pointing to Shogun getting the victory. Obviously, I think Lil Nog's not going. He's going to go out on his shield.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna give everything that he has, and
he always does.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna throw everything that Shogun can handle. I'm gonna go decision. I'm gonna go decision to Shogun.
I agree.
I think this is going to be a lot more of an interesting fight than I want to admit. This is one fight on the entire card that I was not wanting to watch for more than one reason. One, don't get me wrong, I love the idea of this trilogy. However, this goes all the way back to fucking Pride over a decade ago.
Yeah, this rivalry between these two is almost as old as the new guy.
Yep.
So exactly. I think he might have still been in diapers when those guys started fucking.
I am
like,
25, you motherfucker.
These
Okay.
two have been fighting for 25
I was
fucking
saying,
Still
years.
Yeah.
needed a permission slip to go on a goddamn field trip when these guys' rivalry started.
I was gonna
So yeah,
say,
you sit down. when you-
Indeed.
yeah. While you were still crying over skin knees, these dudes were fucking bloodying each other's faces for money.
Yeah, this like the idea of the rivalry is great because if you go back and you watch their fights in Pride,
They're good.
fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Downside, you have a aging ratio Shogun Hua. You have an aging Nogira,
That's a
little
nice way.
Nog.
That's a nice way of putting
Brother's
it.
already fucking retired. Look, there was another article out here on Nog this last week. There's a reason why we've only seen him fight one time per year in the last 3 years. He's had a fucking back problem where he's
Big
got a
time.
slip disc, so it's fucked up his training, and he's had to back out of 3 different fucking fights in the last 3 years. Like, he wanted to fight twice a year, but just couldn't physically fucking do it.
Yeah, wanting and being able to are not always the same thing, especially at this
Yeah.
point.
The mind says yes, but the body says fucking no.
Ask
And
Chuck.
therein lies the problem, which is why at this point, he's making the right decision to lay them down, and my hat's off to him for that.
Absolutely.
I'm glad he said it before, win, lose, or draw, it doesn't fucking matter, I'm done. It's good. He's had a hell of a career, he's a legend of the sport, as is his fucking brother. And I guess if we're gonna go out, this is the way to do it on a trilogy fight. I hope they're paying these two old bastards fucking
Yeah,
well.
I do too.
'Cause, look, but Nog is what, 43 now?
I think he's 44.
43, 44, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at Mauricio, yeah, he looks like he could possibly have maybe one chance at a little B run left, but he's got to be Nog here. And Nog's no slouch. I mean, he's a crafty old fucking veteran, but to be honest, I think he's a little worse than fucking Ua is, so I have to give the nod to Ua here. As much as I like Nog, it has to go to fucking Hua here, and I think he's gonna end up finishing Nog, to be quite honest. I think he'll finish him in the second round.
Yeah, I'm more inclined to agree with everybody. Like, both of them are fucking fabulous fighters. I do love how they're letting Nogueira go out on a trilogy fight. I respect that. I don't know if that was like a request or if this was just what fucking fell into everybody's lap. Like, he's had a fucking fantastic career, being able to fight. Both of them have. They both had a fantastic career, but still, Mauricio has been just he's always been a fucking powerhouse. He's always had a fucking chin of just fucking granite. The man's been unstoppable, and Nog has always just been a fantastic fighter. Goes on his shield, but Rua's got it. My only problem is you have twins and you name both of them the same fucking name. I fucking hate that.
Weirdness. No, and I just checked
That's why
just to make
one's
sure.
Little Nog and one big Nog, but then
I
again,
know.
Right.
this shows
Minotaur and Minotauro.
this shows your age right here of how we know they've been fighting since you were in diapers.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
when they started fighting, you probably couldn't even say spaghetti without saying Paschetti.
I did that till I was 7. Fuck you.
No, and I
was
just
Sam Poop.
and I just
It
checked.
was steady.
Lil Nog is 44. Shogun is 39.
Yeah.
Yeah, neither of them are young bucks.
Yeah, neither one of those boys
mean-
are in their prime anymore.
What Little Nog started? What like was it like '99, something like that, or was that his other brother?
I
Or
think
was that
I think it was
that big
before
knock?
then. I think both of them were starting
like
before
professional?
then.
Professional.
Yeah, professional. They might have been 99.
99. Yeah.
But yeah, both of those boys have been fucking kicking ass and taking names down in Brazil since the fucking late 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know Big Nog. They just had a celebration for him. He just got a coral belt because he's been a Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner for over 23,
20 some
24
years.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just got his coral belt like a few months ago. I know they had a big celebration about that. Some big shit.
Hell yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how this one shakes out. I don't think it's going to be pretty. I really don't. But I'm a fan of both of these guys, and I've been a fan of both of these guys for a long time, so I'm glad to see him getting that co-main event spotlight, like I said here. That being said, though, that will bring us to the meat and potatoes section of the meat and potatoes portion in this meat and potatoes show. Boys and girls, we got a fucking good one. We got a fucking good one. We've had some nice main events over 2020. We've had some meh. We've had some nice. This one, compliments to the fucking chef. This is a beautiful fucking matchup. And although it did not come together the way that we had originally hoped, with the two of them going out to the fucking bars before the fight and having, beer and chips and coming in fat as fuck and not giving a shit and just making a blast of it, we ended up in Abu Dhabi, and they ended up making it at an official weight, and Rob decided that he doesn't have any friends in this business. I'm using air quotes for those listening. I get it, and if that's how you want to play, cool, play it that way. Personally, I think it would have been so much more fucking fun if these two came into that fight looking super fucking serial. They came in relaxed and comfortable, and they had fun, and it was a great fucking build up because of it. I think we could have had that same thing here, and even though we didn't get it, I still think it's going to be a good fight, but we could have had that much more. You could have ended Abu Dhabi. Darren Till is no easy fight for anyone, and now that he's a little more comfortable at 185, he's getting fucking dangerous. He's getting serious, which is when all fighters start getting really dangerous. The problem is that Robert Whittaker is kind of a staple at middleweight at this point. And again, he's one of those that fought all the way down to 170 and walks around north of 200 and could easily fight at lightweight without cutting. But he likes his middleweight for whatever fucking reason. The problem here, I think, as good as Bobby Knuckles has been, he's getting brittle. He's getting brittle. He was a fucking tank when he first came through, and now we've seen him just starting to become a boy version of Paige Van Zandt. Every time he fights, there's a serious fucking injury afterwards that keeps him out for a year, keeps him out for 15 months, something big, or we get a big fight booked, and he's got to pull out because he gets fucking injured in training. I'm not saying Darren Till's invincible, but he doesn't have injury problems like Robert Whittaker does. And when you get a guy as young as Darren Till and that fucking head on him that's just so singularly focused on being the best, on getting better, on making it to the top, to establish himself as the best, man, it's fucking hard to break that when every time you put him in the octagon, he proves himself right. And even though that fight against Gastelum wasn't the most exciting fight, he beat Kelvin Gastelum. And right now, arguably, Kelvin Gastelum is the guy sitting at the top right behind Izzy. UL's not getting another fucking title shot. If Robert wants any fucking chance to get himself another title shot, he's got to beat Till and then wait for the winner of fucking Costa and beat them and then hopefully get another chance at gold. And even then, it's not guaranteed. On the other side of that, if Till comes out and he fucking George Masvidal's Robert Whittaker, how do you say that he doesn't get the next shot at 185, or at the very worst has to fight Cannonier for the next shot at 185? It gets real interesting real fast, and the problem is neither one of these guys are primarily wrestlers. These guys are both stand-up fucking strikers. That leads me to believe, if past evidence is any indication, we're going to end up in a fucking wrestling match here because both of these dudes know they're strikers. When we've got two guys that are good at something, they generally default to the other end of it. Like when we've got two great wrestlers, they generally end up standing up. I think this may end up being that polar opposite. I think we might end up seeing a lot of clinch work. I think we might see a lot of grappling and a lot of cage time up against the fence. I don't really know that we're going to see a lot of boxing. Obviously, with them both being strikers, it's going to be there. But I have a feeling this is going to be one of those who can make the most of the dominant time in the fight. Because if you're not going to have a striker versus striker stand-up striking battle, which we rarely get in a situation like this, it doesn't matter who takes who down. Because if you get a lot of throws and a lot of trips and a lot of pushes and a lot of cage time. But I still think at this point, Till is young enough, Till is hungry enough, and I think he's got a better gas tank than Whitaker does. And I think if he can get his game plan in and be the dominant one, I think he can take Whitaker here. The exception to that rule, shit, where'd it go? There we go. Caveat to that, if you will, is that regardless of being a little bit brittle, Robert Whitaker has and has always had one-shot knockout power. An actual grappling battle, and it comes to a war of attrition, and it's endurance-based. I think Till takes it. But if it comes down to a point where they just get sloppy and start fucking throwing, I think Bobby Knuckles can put him away. I think it really just comes down to who's going to make the most of the dominant control time. I think Till. But I'm not sure. I'm not certain. I'm not confident enough to say I think Till's going to win. I'm giving him a nod. It's leaning in his direction right now, I'll say.
I mean, Till likes to go just straight ahead.
He does.
He loves just bulldozing straight ahead. And if he does that, I think he'll be surprised at what he finds in Whitaker.
Exactly.
Whitaker will take some damage. Like, he doesn't give a shit.
Yep.
And that's usually how he winds up hurt for 15 months after a fight. But when did he pull himself last time? Was it March of last year?
Yeah.
When he pulled himself last time? This is his first fight back since March of last year?
No.
Or no.
When did he fight last?
He fought Adesanya last year in
October.
October?
Yeah.
October?
I think.
I know he pulled himself after that fight because he was feeling burnt out. I don't blame him. He got caught off at the pass and made to look a fool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he pulled himself from burnout and has basically been recharging the battery. So I think we see the Bobby Knuckles old show up. I think it's kind of his fight to lose. I think he's got an opponent who will play right into his strengths if Till comes in with that game plan. If Till comes in with like you said, with a wrestling game plan, and he's shown a little bit of wrestling. If he comes in with a wrestling game plan, I think Whitaker's probably in trouble. But I think this is probably Whitaker's fight to lose, quite frankly. If he shows up, like I said, if he shows up recharged, Bobby Knuckles old, we'll eventually see a stoppage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Whitaker on this one. I think the time off has done him good. He's been very, very playful. He seemed focused. Seems like he's in a good place, and he didn't seem like that before. He didn't seem like that for a while. For the last couple of years, he didn't seem quite like his old self. And this kind of feels like he's back to being Bobby Knuckles. So I'm gonna go Whitaker on this one. I think Till certainly has the ability to put him away. I think if he comes in with a good game plan, he could certainly win this fight. Like I said, this just kind of feels like Robert Whitaker's fight to lose. Like, he should be able to take this fight. So I'm trusting that he's recharged them batteries.
And for me, this fight is a really big fucking coin flip, in my opinion. I think what I'm most bummed about is all the chatter that we had going up until the fight was actually booked. Of, oh, we're gonna fucking hang out and eat potato chips and talk shit together. That all kind of died off, which took a lot of the hype out of the fight for me. Like, I was really fucking excited about that factor in it.
Yep.
Because they both give both guys a chance to fucking relax and just kind of do their own thing. Then Whitaker made a fucking comment 3-4 weeks ago. Nobody in my division is my friend.
Yep.
Dude, you don't gotta. It's okay to have to fight your friends. That's part of the business.
Look
You
at
guys wanna
Cowboy
be friends,
Cerrone.
be friends.
Cowboy's
Drink
made a
beers
career out
afterwards.
of it. Cowboy made a fucking career out of fighting his friends.
Yeah, Cowboy has made a career out
Literally.
of fighting friends.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I mean, and on the other side of this, you got a Darren Till who obviously that weight cut to 170 was fucking killing him, which is why he ended up losing those couple of fights in a row there, albeit one was closer until, well, he almost got baptized, but then
Yeah.
the other one, he just looked like he didn't show up. But that was also a young Darren Till. Darren Till's not even fucking 30 yet.
No.
He's a fucking, for lack of better terms, he's still a fucking kid in his mindset. Anybody who doesn't believe me, go look at that dude's fucking social media accounts.
Oh, yeah.
He literally has the mind of a fucking kid still, which is fucking fantastic because he's got longevity here.
It got him an interview with Mrs. Joe this week. He did an interview with O'Leary specifically just talking about how and why he makes memes of other fighters.
Well, I think the best thing fucking Darren Till has going for him is he will call out everybody in his division, short of Yoel Romero,
Exactly.
which still funny to me to this day.
I love it. I love that.
But
Who the fuck,
I
who the
really
fuck
think
doesn't
it's
want to call
fine.
out Yoel Romero?
Right.
Nobody.
I look at this and I just see a coin flip because, don't get me wrong, Robert Whitaker, albeit he was injury prone there for quite a while, he's managed to come off of one fight and not be injury prone and go into another. Yes, he took a little time off for himself, which is perfectly acceptable. You have that right. But then you go right back into a fight. Fight hasn't been canceled. He didn't get injured again. Maybe he got that shit out of the way, whatever the fuck it was. Look, shit happens, I understand. You didn't have to have 12 surgeries a la Paige Van Zandt and then get cut. He's not going to get cut anyways anytime soon, I can guarantee you that, because
No.
the thing is, your champ, generally they don't cut champs.
No. Not easily, anyway.
No, you have to really fuck up to go from champ to fucking cut. But at this point, I think Darren Till has a better shot of getting this done because we haven't seen Whitaker really evolve. He is still that jump in, counter punch fucking fighter. However, Darren Till's young enough to where he still had time to expand. Unfortunately, Whitaker's kind of set in his ways, and that's what cost him when it came time to fight fucking Adesanya, other than Adesanya was outclassing him, but, you know. I have this strange feeling that it's a coin flip for me, but if I'm flipping the coin, I have to give it to Till. Not to mention, I just want to see who he's going to call out next in the division.
Well, he said last week that if he wins this fight, he's not going to accept any fight other than a title fight afterwards. So,
And can't blame him.
no, not at all. Not in the least bit.
Yeah, they all say that until the money truck backs up.
Right. Yeah, until Dana backs that dump truck full of hundreds up to your yard.
Just no, you're gonna fight this guy.
Yeah. You know how you wouldn't call out Yoel Romero? Here's $500,000. Are you sure?
Let's see fucking memes of baby Jesus and shit like that. Oh god. For the last fight in Abu Dhabi, this was a great fucking decision to be the main the main event. This was a fucking great decision. I love I love both fighters. That's why it was so fucking hard trying to come down to a person that I would want to win. And like TJ, well, like all three of you pretty much said, Robert Whitaker, he's pretty much he does what he does every single time. He hasn't really changed his shit up, which is good and bad because then you're really easy to fucking pick apart. But if you're really good at what you do, then it's kind of hard to pick that shit apart. But with him taking the break after the Adesanya fight, with how he talks and everything about this fight, he looks fucking good. He looks super happy, and like that sort of mental positivity, that shit goes a long way. But then on the flip, Till, he's fucking hungry. He wants his shot for a title fight, which is deserved because he's pretty deserved. He's been going through the fucking middleweight division. I honestly would like to see Till take it. I honestly think it would like late second, like a late second or third round. Well, no, well, yeah, just one of those just going at it, swinging for the fucking fences at the last like 20 seconds of every round, because they're boxers. That's what fucking boxers do, man. That's just a classic fucking thing. I think it's gonna be something like that. Just that last 45 seconds, 30 seconds, just throwing fucking bombs, fighting in a phone booth type shit. I think that is what is gonna make I think that's gonna fucking be what it comes down to. I would like to see Till do it, take it though, because he has a great head of steam behind him, and he's fucking hungry. I love seeing that sort of thing. I love Robert Whitaker though. I fucking love that guy. But I'd really like to see Till.
It definitely gets real interesting after this, because realistically, no matter which one of them wins, Jared Cannonier is next. So I think realistically, the only way this plays out is whoever wins this fights Jared for the next title shot. We already know for a fact that Paulo's getting his shot in September. Could mean that early spring 2021, we could see a very interesting couple of matchups start to really shape this division. But that's going to be a hell of a fight and a hell of a way to end Fight Island. Even though hashtag not my Fight Island, it was still a very, very interesting series of events that they're going to end with a great fucking match. That being said, that's all we've got for this particular episode of the I'm No Joe podcast, and I want to thank everyone for coming along, whether you're here with us live or you're catching this on a replay. And please remember that now we are in season 3, so the audio uploads, in case these Instagram influencer level faces are too much for you, the show is also available in all audio format a week after it airs on anchor.fm/I'mNoJoe. You can also catch everything we do on pretty much all social media platforms at I'm No Joe. We are on Facebook, Instagram, even here, obviously, on YouTube at I'm No Joe. You can catch us just about everywhere. If you want to support what we do, patreon.com/I'mNoJoe for all the behind-the-scenes, unaired, and even some would say unairable things. But that's what we've got for now. So before we get out of here, I do want to take a moment and thank these fine gentlemen for coming along and the shit talking and helping make this an episode that finally went through. Thank fucking baby Jesus and all the RNGs. So first and foremost, if at this point, I don't know how, someone hasn't signed up for the scavenger hunt for Sug Island and the Silo of Greatness, how can they find you after the show's over, Fresh03?
It'll be youtube.com/fresh03. I've been watching a lot of wilderness survival shows, so I have some pit traps dug.
Nice.
I also have some figure four traps lined up with cell phones, and I'm going to be putting out word that Jorge Masvidal is looking for interviews, Darren Till is looking for interviews, Bobby Whitaker is looking for interviews, and I'm gonna put it out that the cell phones are outside the suspected silo.
Nice.
So we're gonna see if we can trap an Uncle Chael and give him the hug that he deserves.
That's a brilliant plan, sir. I absolutely have to tip my hat to you for that. I absolutely love that idea. I'm on board. Thank you very much for your time. Much appreciated, sir.
Thank you for having me.
And I know it's not necessarily my target demographic. I don't do a lot of TikToking, and I'm not real hip with the Fortnite dancing and then taking the L's. But if some of the new kids wanted to learn a little more about you now that the show's over, RJ, how would they go about getting a hold of you?
Fuck plays Fortnite. What kind of pussy do you think I am? What? I grew up on COD, motherfucker. COD is God around here.
That's right.
Find me over there on Instagram, RJ MMA official and RJ__vapes. Find me over there. Hopefully I can get everything sorted out as soon as I can after the move and everything, so I can be here for next week. Hopefully I can take care of that shit. Great being here tonight. Look forward to it next week. Hopefully I can be here for the Wednesday show as well next week if everything works out.
Well, hopefully everything works out on this side so I can do a Wednesday show next week as well.
Yeah.
But you are absolutely welcome should everything fall in place.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Great
much for
being
your
here
time,
tonight.
sir. And last but most certainly not least, by now, it's got to be a new fan that's asking, but if someone needs to know that spot to get the deep fried cheese curd and all of the Kenosha Crippler knowledge they could possibly ever desire, how could they go about getting a hold of you after this show, TJ?
Wednesday nights, right here on the YouTubes, 9:30 Central Time. Catch me at the Cloudy Bunker. Or you can shoot me a message on the Instagrams. I will gladly talk shit with you there. I'll give you directions to the closest bar that has the fucking dirtiest deep fryer for cheese curds you can get your fucking hands on.
Hell yeah. Thank you very much for your time, sir. Always appreciated. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for tuning in to another episode of the I'm No Joe podcast. Should all things go correct, we will be here Sunday for the Full Fight Island What Did I Say show. We will be going over all of the cards that took place in Abu Dhabi, giving you the breakdowns, giving you the medical suspension interestingness, giving you the bonuses that broke out, because the bonuses were not typical of all of these cards either. So we will give you the full rundown, including this weekend's Till versus Whitaker breakdown on Sunday, 9:30 Central Time, same as we do here, same bat time, same bat channel. But that's all we've got for now. So if you enjoyed the show, give us a thumbs up. If we pointed some good things out to you, subscribe. We do this every week if we're able to. If we gave you an aha moment and the light bulb went off and you just had that moment of brevity that you needed, share an episode of the show. We're trying to grow this damn thing. On the other side of that coin, if we're just a couple dipshits talking to a fucking webcam without knowing what we're actually saying, just give us a thumbs down. We earned it and we won't dispute it. But that being said, we're going to call it all for this evening. So remember, don't let ignorance stop you. You can root for anything. Unless you think stopping a dogfight with your shoulder is a good fucking reason.
lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening.
How do I say goodbye to what